Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are once again having a look at the suggestions past the developers for September of 2025. And this time we're having a look at an idea for a subtree. This is for Indonesia. And Indonesia has a lot of interesting vehicles, way more than I actually thought was possible. So in this video, we're going to go over a bunch of them, which are interesting, a little bit unique, and also some common ones too. Indonesia has a lot of kind of imported equipment from many different nations, but they all have their own little spin, which I think is pretty fun. They have a lot of French vehicles, a lot of German vehicles, and also even stuff from Turkey, which is always enjoyable. So sit back, relax, let's have a look at some Indonesian ground vehicles. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. Let's get started. The first vehicle we start off with is a familiar face, the Leopard 2. This is specifically the Leopard 2RI, which stands for Republic Indonesia. This is a heavily upgraded version of the Leopard 2A4 for the Indonesian Army. The upgraded vehicle, touted as Rheinmetall's Revolution package, was first presented at the Eurosatori 2014. The Leopard 2RI is a complete modernization by Germany's Rheinmetall that is tailored to Indonesia's environment to include AMAP armor covering the turret and also the hull, new and modern electronics for all crew members, a new gun brake to allow for firing of high-pressure APFSDS-T rounds like the DM53, a fire control system capable of firing programmable HE rounds, AC modifications, and also many other upgrades. The Indonesian Army currently operates 63 Leopard 2RIs as well as 40 Leopard 2A4s, for a total of 103 Leopard 2s. So this vehicle is probably the closest to the Leopard 2A4M, the Canadian edition. It's one which at least looks similar and also has similar attributes. The next vehicle is the Harimau Hitam MT. The Harimau, or tiger in Indonesian, also known as the Kaplan or MMWT, is a medium tank developed and produced by both Turkey and also Indonesia. It's equipped with a Cockerel 3105 turret, which features a 105mm high-pressure gun capable of firing GL ATGMs. It's also equipped with some of the latest electronics and can be upgraded with an APS setup. The hull armor meets Stanag 4569 level 4 and can be equipped with modular armor to meet level 5. Due to its weight, it's capable of traversing many roads and bridges, as well as the rough Indonesian terrain. This medium tank is being produced for the Indonesian Army with 4 other potential operators, including the Philippines, Brunei, and also Bangladesh. Since it uses the Cockerel 105, it can fire all of the rounds that you would want, including APFSDS, heat, and also the ATGM. It runs on an autoloader with 12 rounds ready to go, and also has a 711 horsepower engine. Since it has an autoloader, it only has a 3-man crew, and also it has 3rd generation thermals on it, which I think is pretty awesome. So the vehicle itself actually looks incredibly enjoyable, and hopefully we can see it in the future. The next vehicle is the Komodo CPWS Gen 2. During Indo Defense 2018, a Pindad Komodo 4x4 was revealed on the second day, featuring the Cockerel SPWS Gen 2 turret equipped with a 25mm M242 Bushmaster, as well as 2 100mm Olco-Tan 100 unguided anti-tank missiles. This vehicle features improved crew survivability by allowing the crew to reload the main gun from inside the vehicle, as well as the ability to equip the 25mm M242 chain gun, also a 30mm M230 LF chain gun, as well as a variety of ATGMs, depending on the ordering the countries need. As of now, there are no Komodos equipped with the CPWS Gen 2 in service. However, they are available for purchase through PT Pindad and also John Cockerell Defense. So basically this is a Jeep which has access to a pretty fancy weapon system on the top of it. It's one of the things that's becoming more and more common when it comes to more modern militaries. You take something which is pretty simple and you just slap a little turret on the top of it. The next vehicle is the Cobra IFV. This is an Austrian Pandor II produced under license by PT Pindad, featuring the unmanned Elbit Systems U-30 Mark II turret using the 30mm Bushmaster II and also 7.62mm machine guns. A contract was issued in 2019 to order 22 vehicles, with an estimated total future purchase of up to 250 vehicles for the Indonesian Army. The Cobra IFV was designed to be amphibious and to cross the terrain and wetlands of the Indonesian countryside. The Cobra IFV features some of the latest equipment, such as the Elbit Systems U-30 Mark II unmanned turret, which significantly increases crew survivability. The Pillar 5, which is designed to locate bearings and possible range based on triangulation to locate incoming fire, an optional laser warning system, as well as the latest generation thermal images for the commander and also gunner. The engine is also located in the front of the vehicle and crew compartment in the rear, and the driver located next to the engine. The Cobra IFV's standard armor meets Snag 4569 level 1, however Rafael of Israel produces add-on armor that allows the vehicle to survive against 14.5mm projectiles, effectively bringing the vehicle up to the level 4 standard. The Cobra IFV's inclusion, alongside other vehicles like the Harimau MT, significantly increases the capabilities of the modern Indonesian army. And of course, you have the wonderful dual belt-fed 30mm Bushmaster II with all of its rounds. So, unfortunately not a great fire rate, but at least a decent amount of punching power. You also have the Komodo Mistral Atlas SPAA. This is a V-SHORAD vehicle developed between PT Pindad and MBDA of France. The Komodo 4x4 platform itself was developed by Indonesia. It's loosely based off of the French Renault Sherpa vehicle, and the Komodo was designed to meet local requirements by being well protected, cheap, and also modular, allowing multiple weapon platforms to be equipped, suiting the needs of the Indonesian Army or export customers. In this case, the Indonesian Army equipped the Komodo with the MBDA Mistral Atlas platform, a dual Mistral launcher with enhanced electronics, allowing the operator to target aircraft, drones, or helicopters up to 7.5 kilometers, depending on the type of Mistral missile used. The platform requires the gunner to be seated on the missile launcher, exposing the gunner to enemy fire. The Mistral Atlas can receive targeting data from Mistral coordination posts, which feature a search radar to target incoming threats or fire independently through third-generation electro-optical sighting equipment located on the Atlas launcher. The Komodo Mistral Atlas is currently in use with the Indonesian Army, with over 100 Komodo 4x4s of different variants in service. The next vehicle is based on the AMX-13, and it's known as the Yonkav 2 LT. The Yonkav 2, also known as the AMX-13 refit, is a light tank originating from France that has been upgraded by the Indonesian defense industry. The Yonkav 2 underwent two modernizations, one in 1995 featuring a new Detroit diesel engine and also automatic transmission, and the Dunslow strut suspension to increase off-road performance. Another modernization was conducted in 2014, which added a newer 320 horsepower diesel engine by Navistar, which required the hull to be extended. Improved armor on the lower front plate and upper front plate, as well as add-on armor for the turret, was also added in urban operations. Another part of this upgrade included a new fire control system featuring third-generation thermal viewers, a new 105mm main gun, and a thermal imager or FLIR camera for the driver. The new FCS is designed to further offset the aiming of the unstabilized main gun, and the idea of this upgrade was to prolong the life of the Yonkav 2 until newer vehicles such as the Harimau MT are produced in quantity. The Yonkav 2 is still in use by the Indonesian Army, with around 250 different models of AMX-13 remaining in service. We also have the Badak FSV. This is developed by PT Pindad of Indonesia, and it entered service with the Indonesian Army in 2021. Development began in the late 2000s with the mounting of the Alvis AC turret with the Cockerel 90mm Mark III MA1 low-pressure gun on the 6x6 Anoa APC to provide Indonesia with a lightweight FSV capable of navigating the hostile mountainous terrain. In 2014, a complete version of the Badak was displayed at the Indo Defence and Aerospace of 2014, which featured the two-person CMI Defence CSE 90 LP turret, equipped with the Cockerel 90mm Mark III. They'd also had a laser warning system and also other upgrades. The turret armor meets level 1 Stanag 4569 protection, but can be upgraded to level 4, and the hull gives you level 3 protection, which protects against 12.7mm caliber rounds. It also utilizes the 6x6 dual wishbone suspension that differentiates itself from the Anoa APC, which it was based on. This suspension system increases stability while firing the main gun, and on the inside, the driver is placed on the right side next to the engine on the left, and the turret with the gunner and commander are placed in the middle, and behind them is the storage for ammunition. The design is pretty typical of similar fire support vehicles that enhances protection and also crew survivability. Originally, 50 Badak FSVs were ordered, however the order was reduced to 14. As of January 2022, 7 have been delivered. The next vehicle is the AMX-10P PAC-90, or AMX-10P Marine. This is a fire support variant of the AMX-10P infantry fighting vehicle of France's Giat Industries, also known as Nexter Systems. The AMX-10P PAC-90 originally began production in 1979 and was the mating of the TS-90 with the CN-40 F4 90mm gun to the AMX-10P chassis to provide a cheap export variant of the AMX-10P designed for amphibious assault purposes. The AMX-10P PAC-90 has served with a few countries, such as the Indonesian Marine Corps or the Singaporean Army. As of 2022, Indonesia received modernized AMX-10P PAC-90s that feature enhanced electronics as well as improved amphibious capabilities that will continue to serve in the Indonesian Marine Corps for years to come. You also have the PT-76M. This is an Indonesian upgrade of the Soviet PT-76 that were acquired in 1962 alongside the BTR-50. In the 1990s, Indonesia upgraded their PT-76s to the designation of M, featuring several upgrades including a new Cockerel 90mm Mark III low-pressure gun, a new Detroit diesel engine coupled to the original transmission, several fire control modifications, as well as other upgrades that bring the PT-76 to modern levels. These new PT-76Ms were used in service with the Indonesian Marine Corps, conducting amphibious operations during the insurgency of Aceh in the early 2000s, and continue to serve today. In 2020, another upgrade program was initiated with Ukraine through UKPET Export, which includes an APS, a new Cummins diesel engine, and the possible inclusion of the Falaric 90 GL ATGM. Modifications will have to be made to the gun due to the muzzle brake preventing certain ammunition from being fired, such as APF-STS. It's unknown if the upgrades took place or are delayed due to the invasion of Ukraine. The Indonesians also use some vehicles straight up from other nations, such as the Panhard E.B.R Model 1951, which is an armored car that was in service with the Indonesian Army. Not much is known on the history or the quantity used in Indonesia. However, they were believed to be retired in the early 1960s. Two can be found in Indonesia today, one at the Satria Mandala Museum in South Jakarta, and one on a monument in South Bandung near the Indonesian Army School. This vehicle is exactly the same as the one that you find in the game in the French tech tree, so no real difference there. Another vehicle that is similar is the M3A3 75W Sherman MT. This Sherman is a development of the standard M4 Sherman used during the Second World War, as well as post-war engagements. The M3A3 75W Shermans in Indonesia were originally used by the British before being turned over to the Dutch. After Indonesia declared independence on the 17th of August 1945, the Dutch used them against Indonesian independent forces until the Netherlands recognized the independence of Indonesia in 1949 after 4 years of intense warfare. Following negotiations, the Netherlands donated the M3A3 75Ws to the newly formed Indonesian army, and the M3A3 75W Shermans were seen in use into the early 60s with the inauguration of the KKO Tank Battalion of the Indonesian Marine Corps, back then the Corps Commandos, or the KKO as they were known. And of course there is also a Stuart. The M3A3 Stuart specifically. These were used by the Dutch against the Indonesian Independence Force again from 1945 until 49. Then the Dutch once again recognized independence of Indonesia, and the M3A3 Stuarts were adopted by the newly formed Indonesian army and used in several engagements from 1950 to 65. There is one M3A3 Stuart in operation in the Indonesian army today for ceremonial purposes, featuring all original parts with the exception of a fire extinguisher and a decorative communications antenna. So it's kind of cool how it actually still functions today, and I'm guessing they use it in parades. So that's all of the vehicles that we're going to talk about today in the Indonesian subtech tree, but just understand there are many others that could easily come in. Here is a list of them. The Leopard 2A4 Plus, Cobra 8x8 FSV, Marder Medium Tank RI, Marder 1A3, Propad Shorad Grom, the Komodo Starstreak, the Sherpa MPCV, the Vamtac ST5 Rapid Ranger, the M109A4BE, BMP3F, BVP2, the BTR4M Bow, AMX-13105, Model 58 FL12, the AMX Mark 61, the Tarantula 6x6, the FE101 Scorpion 90, the V150 FSV, the AMX-1375 Model 52, the FE601 Saladin, the Isuzu NPS-75, the Type 97 Chi-Ha, and also the Humber Mark IV AC, showing this tech tree could be incredibly healthy as it goes forward. As always, let me know what you would like to see when it comes to War Thunder, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.